headaches and migraines. It's something we've all experienced at least once in our lives. And it's important to know the different types of headaches or where they're coming from. Because a lot of times when someone runs into the shop here, they'll ask, give me something for my headache. I don't want to take a painkiller necessarily, or I'm getting them too often. What's natural that I can take? And normally I would give a product like the DNA migraine formula, where it has a nice combination of herbs and nutrients in, or I would give something like the feverfew, which you either get in capsules or in tincture. So feverfew is amazing. Feverfew is for fevers, comes from the name. It is for headaches, for migraines, for any kind of pain actually. I've even used it for period pains as well. It's like, it helps for like the crampiness. So feverfew is amazing. Like it gets me through all my colds and flus, but for the headache and migraine, it's kind of the most known. So that's like number one, go-to herb for headaches and migraines. But what if it's not just a normal headache or migraine? So I've experienced quite a lot because at Norma we've got the health shop side, but we've also got the treatment side where we do a very unique combination of pressure points, reflexology, spinal care, and massage with breathing techniques all in one treatment. And what I've found is that a lot of times the neck is actually misaligned. And what that does is the vertebrae is pinching or pressing on a nerve and pinching it. And then it will go either to the eyes or sometimes to the back of the skull or even to the frontal lobe and create like a painful sensation. So it could be a structural thing, or it could be from inside where it's from something like stress. We all know a stress headache, tension headache, and then it's important to actually treat those symptoms rather than just the headache. So it's very easy to just pop a pain pill, but it's actually to understand where the headache is coming from that we know what course of action to take. And in the case of like a tension headache, one can look at very calming herbs. So something like chamomile tea or hops or valerian or passion flower, or there's actually so many, ashwagandha, all those type of herbs could be very beneficial to help calm the nervous system. Even a nice cup of lemon balm tea, or if you can get lemon balm capsules, then it's obviously easy to take as well. And that has a very nice soothing effect on the nervous system. And that could help for nervous system related headaches, so like a tension headache or stress headache. And then it's also important to know if it's maybe a hormonal headache, because that I've heard of a lot as well. So a lot of times girls would experience headaches on a certain part of their cycle, and then it's when a certain hormone is either too high or too low. And then one can rather go the hormonal balancing route. So you could use herbs like chasteberry or maca or angelica to help balance the hormones a little bit, and even look at nutrient deficiencies, because things like zinc and all of those plays a very important role with the hormonal cycle. So if you're getting headaches at a very certain point of the month or very specific point of the month, then one can look at more the hormonal treatment for the headache. So it's important to know where they're coming from. It could be a lack of sleep. It could be many different things. Some people get headaches from too much screen time. That's something that's quite often these days, because everyone's on the computers so much and on the phone so much. Everyone's, we're in the digital age, and I think sometimes that eye strain, if their eyes are not happy, then it strains and it can cause a headache as well. So then one can get something like blue light glasses, or one can just try and cut the screen time a little bit, or get something to support the eyes. So like omega-3 or lutein or zeaxanthin or bilberry. Bilberry is a fantastic herb for eye health. There's also quite a few blends, something like the OcuFast caps from DNA. There's an eye blend from the Phytophos tinctures, and even something like ginkgo biloba and eye bright is also two very nice herbs to support the eyes, which I think is so important. Even things like vitamin A could help the eyes as well, because the stronger the eyes are, the less likely it will be to strain and get turned into a headache or migraine as well. Then something that a lot of people might not know is that a lot of headaches get caused by allergies. So this is a bit of a weird one, but I've had quite a few clients that had chronic headaches actually migraines, for years and years. And what they finally linked it to is that they were allergic to something like garlic or onions. And that's in so many different foods that we consume that they never made the connection. But every time they would eat those things, they would sit with this heavy migraine. A lot of people have a sugar sensitivity. So whenever they have sugar the one day, the next day they're sitting with a migraine. So those food connections are also super, super important to become aware of. And I think to listen to your body, like that when you're eating something, how is this actually making me feel? How is this adding value as well? So that's quite an important one to keep in mind as well. And also with your blood group, you know, certain blood groups are supposed to eat certain foods, so they might be sensitivities as well. Some people's histamine response is just way overactive. Then one can do something like quercetin to help regulate the histamine levels and that allergy response then. Some people get the allergy response through tummy or through skin. Other people will get the headache. So it could come from so many different places. And I think it's important to not just want to, you know, dampen the pain, but actually understand why there's pain, because the body is trying to tell you something. And if we don't listen, it won't stop. It will keep coming back as well. So yeah, there's a few options to try. Sometimes it's just a herbal one. Others might be a bit more of a lifestyle change, but you can give them all a go and see which one resonates with you the most.